All right, all right. And last but certainly not least, we have our good old OER. Now, on this problem here, some of you guys, I don't know if you try to be slick about some things and try to give me a quick answer. Um, so I kind of had to, and I apologize. The question here again wasn't too specific as to what they wanted you to solve. So I tried grading as evenly and fair as possible, but it just all depends. So question says, please explain the process of how to find the range with the given domain for the following problem. Now, again, it doesn't necessarily say to find the range, but I would assume that you have to find it if you're given the set of domain. So some of you guys just told me the process. One thing that I was not sure of was some of you guys tried telling me using the calculator, which is a-okay, but that's not what the problem here is asking. Right? They're saying, how do you find the range from the function f of x equals 4x minus 6? Now, again, when it comes to algebra, yes, we do have a calculator that can help us tremendously, but that's not what they want you to know. They don't want you to know how to work this with the TI Inspire. And again, some of you guys, I think we're just trying to be very general and try to get some extra points. So again, detail, explain the process. So I'm going to show you how to do this both ways. So the first thing here is explain how to find the range of the function f of x equals 4x minus 6 when the domain is -3, -1, 1, 3, and 5. So if you guys remember, the first thing when we're trying to find output is we first have to identify our inputs, right? So here, some of you guys actually said this during your explanation is you say you can make a table, right? So we have our inputs x, which is my domain. Now, how do we get our outputs? Well, and again, some of you guys said this perfectly, which is amazing. You said you plug in or you substitute the input into the x. So now here, I'm going to do two things. Actually, I'm going to leave it like that. That's fine. All right, so here it's my inputs. How to get my output? Well, we have the equation here, 4x minus 6. Again, I apologize. I'm using this weird mouse. I'm sorry. And we get our output y, which is also our f of x, right? These two are the same thing. F of x is the same as y. Remember, the only thing is that here, the x, we know what the input was. Here, the y, it doesn't really matter, right? So here, if it makes you feel comfortable, I'll go ahead and plug in here f of x as well. So it was really nice what some of you guys were doing because it showed me that you understood. I apologize. Let me rewrite this. So again, on your paper, you should be doing this. Equals, and this was for x. I don't even know why I'm writing it like this, but it's okay. We'll switch it up. 4x minus 6. Now, again, some of you guys told me, hey, you take the -3 and you plug it into the equation, which is okay. But notice how my domain actually consists of multiple parts. So here, your domain was actually -3, -1, 1, 3, and 5. Now, again, I'm not saying, and maybe it was the problem's fault, for not being specific enough, but we take our inputs and what do? We plug them in, right? So in this case, what some of you guys did, which was really nice, was you actually went ahead and did this -3 equals, and then you actually said, well, if x is -3, and again, I'm kind of running out of room here. Let me see if I can fix this. Yes, I can. Okay, I'll fix it right now. Equals 4, -3, minus 6. So some of you guys actually went ahead and did this whole bit, which was amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because right there, you're telling me you understand what you're doing, right? You're telling me that you know what it means for it to be a function. And then this was f of x. Oh my goodness. Sorry, sorry, sorry. Equals. Jeez. Oh, give me a second. Let's move this mouse here. Oh, not that. Let's move this. There we go. All right. My apologies. Y. There it is. So f of x, we know equals y. We know that those two are the same thing. Here was my equation. F of x is 4x minus 3. So again, some of you guys actually told me this, which was amazing on the OER definition. Now again, some of you guys only gave me 1 point. Again, I don't know whether it's your fault or the problem for not specifying, but again, you were given 5 numbers as a domain, so you should have gotten 5 numbers as an output. So when you plug this in, when we substitute it, 4 times a negative 3 is negative 12. Negative 12 minus 6 is a negative 18. Right? Now again, we follow with the same situation. Now my domain is negative 1. So what does this mean? That means that in this case, x is negative 1. So all I'm going to do is just replace, or not replace, but plug in a negative 1. Again, working this out, 4 times a negative 1 is a negative 4, minus 6 is a negative 10. Now continuing here, f of 1 equals 4 times 1 minus 6, which gave me a negative 2. And then here, f of 3 equals 4 times 3 minus 6, which gave me a positive 6. Or you can just put 6, right? And lastly, f of 5 equals 4 parentheses 5 minus 6, which gave me a 14. Again, some people had some great answers, but it's not specifying. It says explain how to find the range. So again, you could have done this, and this exactly told me in terms of a table what you did, how you do it. How do you find the range from the function? You take your inputs, you plug them into your equation, and you get your outputs. Right? So again, you could have done this. I would have given you credit for that. Also, you just could have typed it in using a word like a sentence or two. To find range, you substitute your given domain into the function and calculate the range values. Notice how I'm being very specific here. Now, again, here, again, this would be partially correct, but again, notice how it is very clear what I'm telling you to do, or what you're telling me that you know how to find. To find the range from the function, you substitute your given domain into the function and calculate the range values. So again, notice how you're telling me you're substituting. If you told me, oh, I went to the calculator, that's not telling me how to find it. That's you telling me, oh, you know how to find the points, but do you know what domain and range are? Do you know what it actually means for it to be when it comes to the function, right? Now, again, you could have told me this, but I did want to see some of these values. And again, when it comes to writing the function values, actually would have been written like this. Range equals negative 18, negative 10, 1. Oh, I'm sorry, not 1. Negative 2, 6, and 14. Again, notice how we're given a set domain, -3, -1, 1 through 5, and we have our associated range, -18, -10, -2, 6, and 14. That is how you find the range. Again, if you told me, Gons, I went to my calculator and I graphed the equation, you went to graph 4x minus 6, and then you went to table. Again, yes, but that's not telling me. Again, all you're doing was just telling me that you know how to find the table in the calculator. And you say find the values, but you're not telling me what values, right? You never told me that you actually inputted the x's. Again, this is telling me that you know how to find the table in the calculator, but do you know what actually means for it to be domain and range? So again, this is what I want to see on your problem. Again, it's showing me that you're taking your domains, your inputs, you're plugging them into your equation, and we're getting our set of outputs. So my range is -8, -10, -2, 6, and 14, when my domain is -3, -1, 1 through 5. And this is what you should have written down, or something along these lines. But again, notice the vocabulary. To find the range, you substitute your given domain into the function and calculate the range values. Notice how I wrote the word calculate, right? We're not solving. Some of you guys said solve for x. We're not solving for x here at all. We're not even solving for y. There is no solving. We're calculating the values because we already know our inputs and our outputs. All right. So with that being said, that is your redo. Okay. Now again, notice how everything in here has plenty of work. So make sure that you submit a document with plenty of writing in there. Get your points back. Again, I don't know how much I'm going to give in return. You should be getting at least half your points back for sure. But again, please take good detailed notes. Again, I'm going to save this. I'm going to go off of this. I'm going to check every single one. Make sure you send a picture of your document, of your paper, and submit it to Schoology. All right, that is how I'm going to be checking. So I'll have the Schoology instructions on for you, and your sub will let you know. But with that being said, we're donezos. Again, make sure you guys turn this picture in, and I'll see you on the next one.